All right, so next up on the visual IPPs, we got DJ. So DJ, you gotta be able to defensively read more than you. I mean, because you don't really have a lot of options. It's not like you decide should I crash or should I get back. You're not gonna get enough offensive rebounds to have that as a choice. So just get back. But look, the ball goes up. So I didn't mind Desmond crashing because he has to assume that you're going to get back. You're watching the ball, and now they throw it past you. And it just happens way too often. We give up way too many easy shots when you should be in transition deep. All right. And just transition a little further ahead. Yeah, we throw a turnover, but look how this guy outcompetes you up the floor. You're right here. And this guy's just going to just finally decide to turn it on. Or this guy, there you go. And he just outcompetes you. As soon as that's a turnover, you need to be sprinting back to help. You can't be watching because you're not big enough to erase your own mistakes. And even if you were, we'd still want you in defensive position. All right, and this one is just you just gotta like you get the ball up top. These are called flybys. If you contest a guy above the free throw line, you keep running. So as soon as the rebound comes up, you're back in the picture as if you don't know there's a guy behind you. So if we don't come up with that ball, they're gonna throw it right over our head. That's me pointing to you like, hey man, you gotta know to get back. And right now, that's not on your radar right now. Look at this guy wide open back here. All right. So and the reason you gotta get better at it too is because you gotta be the loudest talker on here. In transition, the guard is the loudest talker or whoever's back because they see the most. All right. So if you're doing the wrong things, I can't even depend on you to say the right things because you're so now you got a guy behind you now. You can't you no longer Will sees more than you. All right. And immediately you're turning your hips to go have to stop them and you're not a shot blocker. So why even put yourself in this position? Why don't you stay deeper than the deepest guy so you can make sure they can't throw that advance and pass and put us in trouble? All right, this one's no different. Again, we're guard number three. We let him run right past us. And now we got to go make a play at the rim, and they get a wide open layup. Strict and again, our goal, and everybody needs help with this because as a team, we're really bad at transition defense. All right, so I'll do better at doing some drills at coaching y'all, but as a team, we're really bad. And if we can make teams score in the half court set by doing the simple things like getting back, we're gonna be even more dominant. All right. This play I don't like for two reasons. First, we see your peripheral needs to see number two. So you need to be thinking, let me start getting deep and getting back because if this guy ends up with the rebound, that's a layup. So luckily, Blaze ends up with the ball. So now we strap a three. Now there's another guy who flew by you, and there's no urgency to get back and say, oh man, let me not let what just happened thrown over my head happen again. All right, so now let's get into the playmaking side of it. All right, so right now, Blaze does the screen, and you have to turn your shoulder. Like right now, if you throw it with your left hand, he's wide open. All right, and then you occupy this guy by looking this way. Because it's bad defense, you're able to turn your body and throw this pocket pass in. And to me, that's just fool's gold because one, it does work because you actually clear and move the guy way over here to create a pocket. But the shoulders turning that only gets through against bad defenses. All right, and here's a clip of what usually happens when you turn your shoulder. All right, because you're telling everybody where the ball's going. Now you're trying to say it's out on his leg, and I'm over here thinking, why aren't we throwing with our left hand? So again, this only happens when you're on the left side. I mean, on the right side of the floor. On the left side, you don't have to turn your shoulders because you're right-handed. But these are the small details that you need that you're getting information now. So what you need to do is, as a smaller guard, you need to become a lead at pick and roll, and so you're getting information on what you need to work on. All right, this one's a little better. And to be honest, this is what you need to do. Count all your pick and rolls. See if you came hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, throw it with the correct hand, make the right pass. The only reason this one gets through is because you have enough space. It's not like a guy was in you where you would have to throw it your outside hand. So you were able to face up and then throw it with your right hand over the top. But you didn't turn your shoulders as much as you did if you were throwing a bounce pass. So that one was able to get through. All right, and this is probably your best one, and it's because of what side of the floor you're on. So now you're able to throw it. You don't have to turn your shoulders much, and then you get it through, and it's a much quicker, faster pass. We got to get to the point where we could be on both sides of this court, and those same results happen. All right, so we see the half court playmaking is a lot of detail, a lot of fine motor, a lot of skill. You got to be in training sessions to get. But this stuff is a more open court. Yeah, there's some training, but it's a lot more gross motor. So, like right here, number 34 doesn't look like a great athlete to me. I don't know why he's making you stop. Because if you keep running and get in front of him, let's say this guy helps, then you just throw it to Will. Let's say this guy helps, then you throw it to Derron. Let's say this guy sprints over and helps, then you just throw it to Cam. But he's not good enough to make you stop when you have a head start on him, unless the ball's in your left hand. And even though you can dribble with your left hand, you don't really attack as much with it. So you pull it back, and now we're kind of in just a half court set. So I'm showing you this because if you get better in transition, I mean, just playmaking alone, you can account for 8 extra points for a team. Now, I do want to take the time to catch you when you're good. This is a good play because I absolutely thought you were going to shoot it, and you're good at looking at the rim, occupying. If you turn your shoulders, he's not jumping at you. But since you did, you occupy him longer, and that gives Derron a wide open shot. Nobody's near him. Let's watch it again. Don't turn your shoulders. Right on the money. That's a good pass. Yeah, and I'm not gonna flip them all, but you get a lot of those passes. Now here, this is transition. You get the ball, the camera pans. But one thing I know is there's three guys back here, and we got a 4-on-2. If you advance it to Cam, we should be able to score. All right. I don't want you walking the ball up in this situation because we were up by like 14 points at this point, and then I think we're just letting them off the hook. And remember the rule, if we're better than a team, we want more possessions. If we're not, we want less. Now this, I just think you're dribbling too much. Blaze is a guard. Throw it to him. You dribble, and even worse, you dribble at him. So now you make it more congested when you could have just threw it to him a long time ago, and it had just been him and one other guy. So now he got to deal with more congestion because you're not getting off the ball in space. This one's simple. Think quicker. Blaze just went in for a steal. He's way up here. You get a steal thrown right to you. So he's ahead of everybody. Nobody's above the free throw line. Why are we dribbling? What did that dribble do for you? So just throw it so you could give him even more time to go score. All right, and again, these decisions just aren't quick enough. You get a steal. We got our two best athletes up ahead, and both of them are guards. You with the ball, a guy trips and falls, and he still doesn't have the ball in his hands. Get him the ball so we could go ahead and score. So now he got to deal with this guy. So now we got to do that instead of scoring a layup because you're dribbling too much. All right, and I've said it before, a lot of things with training, it's not about what we got to put in your game, it's what we got to take out. The quicker you can make a decision. So if it takes you 4 dribbles to make a decision, let's get it to 2. If it takes you 3 seconds to make a decision, let's get it to 1. So right here, you got to get your head up the court because as soon as this guy comes and helps up the court, Stedmon's open. You got to throw that over the top. So that's 1 dribble, 2. And now, if this guy was taller or he took a charge, now we're taking a risk at erasing a point off the basket, off the board. So we got to make it so guys can score on the move because scoring at a standstill is way more difficult. All right, so this one's a little different. It's not that somebody is up ahead. It's can you control your pace? So your peripheral should see Stedman. As you dribble and make him attract to you and he's already here, just slow down. Instead of throwing it there, because you know Derron's going to have to deal with him, just wait and then hit the trailer. All right, those are some of the point guard skills that we want because now if you're able to slow down and let Stedman just walk right into a layup, we don't got to go through the adventures of trying to hit a jump shot or whatever we're going to do next. And then finally, be disciplined. All right, there's no reason for you to reach with your right hand and be completely out the play. I mean, if we're gonna do something, reach with your left hand and try to get it. So at least you're in the play. Now that just puts our whole defense in jeopardy. He didn't drive, but we're in trouble now. So just be disciplined when it comes to defense and rotations and things like that. Oh, hold on. We got one more to talk about. On your rotations, like you're not even the pitcher, you're already down court. This is you. As soon as this ball goes baseline, you're the low man. There's no reason a higher guy needs to be helping. Matter of fact, when he drives, you're not even there. You got to rotate and get outside that lane line. And plus, you already know if the ball's on this side of the court, there's absolutely no reason you need to be attached to this guy. All right, and these are kind of small things. Like if you get good at these, this will help your defense. Especially as a smaller player, you got to get it right. So Cam is forcing left like he should. He throws the ball. So there's an advantage, but you keep getting attached to your guy. So you're in no place to help. So once you see that Cam's kind of behind him because it's a give and go, you need to be the guy that's jumping in front of this guy. All right, we can't be playing individual defense, and now we're getting fouls on guys. All right, so we're gonna move it over. So for Darren, there's a couple of things. So first thing is just really work on your finishing, and the reason I want y'all to see it is because again, we go in the gym, we get jump shots up, but I want you to see how often you get into the rim, what opportunities are ahead of you. So right now, you got inside position. I just want you to start getting them on the rim. All right, and some of that comes with strength. All right, but a lot of your layups aren't coming close when you're in pretty good position. Even if you get fouled a little bit on that, you got to get it on the rim. All right, this one's no different. Get it on rim. All right, and even on this one, there's some good things that happen. I like that you cut the space instead of hanging out at the 3 point line. Will dropped it off, but now just play with patience because he jumped before you. Wait on his way down, and in that position, you didn't get it on the rim, but at least find a way to get fouled or something like that. All right, this one you get out really well. All right, you end up, and he's not big. He's smaller than you, so just take your time at the rim and then get it on the rim and give yourself an opportunity. All right, and I also think like you're getting a lot of the things right. Like right now, we threw the ball to you, and while everybody's setting a stagger screen, you're one on one with this guy, so you attack. All right, but now what I want you to do is, as soon as guys help up, be able to play make. You don't have to be able to score it. All right. Because if you could drop it off the Stedman, that's a layup. All right. But instead, it gets blocked and it doesn't get on the rim. And the reason I'm using the term get on the rim is so we could get offensive rebounds. Um, maybe get fouled if we get the offensive rebounds and more opportunities at the basket. Blocks usually are the fast break initiators for the other team. All right, I'm gonna use the term PVAD. Positioning has direct correlation with your vision, and vision with your anticipation with the decisions you make. So, like right here, this is you. So right now, your positioning only sees your man. It doesn't see man and ball. All right, so now you finally turn and you're seeing the ball, but you're only seeing the ball. So now when your guy cuts, you don't know he's cutting. So you're out of position in this possession, especially constantly. So now a guy goes, you try to jump in front, but all this time, if your eyes were on your man, you wouldn't have got cut on, and you would have been in a position to be the low man help. So now you're not even low man help right there. So this should be a trap between you and Will. All right. So all those things like matter and add up to something. So instead of that guy spinning and getting a shot off, it would have been a trap and a turnover. But our PVAD is off. All right, so here, as soon as there's a change of possession, we got to see like what you're looking at because that's really what matters. Your PVAD, your positioning. So right now, you don't see the ball. If you saw the ball, you wouldn't be running so close to him. You'd probably be running down the middle of this lane a little bit because the ball's on the far left side. But since you're so close to him, you're in no position to help. All right, so now there's the drive. At this point, you would be the low man. All right. And so you don't get to the lane because of that. All right. And then you got to anticipate. All right. He misses. You got to know guys are coming because, you just know that. So you reach with one hand and then he slaps the ball out and gets the rebound. So it's just a level of urgency, intensity, positioning that you're constantly kind of putting yourself in a bad spot because you're not looking at ball and man or aware of both. All right, and of course we need you to like take care of the ball here, but like really, it's you're gonna turn it over. It's gonna happen. But right here, just think about: do you think you could have jumped on that ball, tied it up, got a jump ball? It's here and underneath your leg. At this point, I'm like, if he don't get it, just dive on him. That's the one I got on you about because I'm like, okay, you gotta feel the intensity of the game and make sure that they don't leave with the ball. And at very least, we get a jump ball and we get to get our defense set, or we get it ourselves. All right, Darren, in a play like this, where you see the guy dribbling uphill, his eyes are obviously looking up there. You should be able to run through this pass and get a steal. Again, it's going to be just more assertive. Go for that steal. I ain't got on you for not. He trips it off his foot, and then, this one's no different. Just find a way to get it on the rim. Give yourself a chance so you get more and ones. All right, and I won't put many, but like usually when the game gets really physical is when a lot of your turnovers happen. And then other these, you have the skills to do a lot of these. Like this one, you just got to know I got to dribble lower than what he is. So just do a really low dribble just until you get all the way past him. But since you're dribbling the same height, even in traffic, it gets picked. So like keep the turnovers down, and and you have the footwork, you have all that stuff, the intelligence on what to do. It just seems like you're just not being assertive enough when you're playing the game. All right, moving on. We're gonna go to Stedman. All right, so Stedman, look at you up here. Don't get face cutted. All right, you just let a guy run right in front of you, and then you're making the pass too easy. So Cam's working really hard. You need to make sure you're close enough so you can steal this passer so he doesn't throw it. We want him in a speed dribble to his left, running to the low man, but he effortlessly catches it. So now they get an easy back door. All right, here's another defensive lap. You gotta be ready. So right now, remember, we have Will coming from the angle you're coming from. So you're covering the angle that he's at. You should be right in front of this guy because you have to, as the middle guy, you guard dribble penetration. Then Will comes up. But since you're not, you're inviting him to down the lane. And then again, and just make sure you're wondering on this. Remember, I always tell Cam, don't help up, but you left him in a really tough spot. But even then, I wouldn't have helped up to give him a layup. So when you're running bottom, make sure you don't do that. But you cannot give a guy a lane. All right, so you also got to remember to execute. So right here, when we're throwing the ball in, your job is to angle and make them throw it to the corner. So as soon as they throw it to the corner, we get a trap. All right, and you forget your job. So now Blaze like, hold up, wait. So now he has to just guard the guy. So make sure we get in order. And then the other thing is make sure at the end of the day you touch somebody. All right, you should be turning to look, see who's crashing, and ensure we get this rebound. And that's why he gets a hand on it, and then they get another attempt at the basket. So make sure we do the fundamental things consistently. All right, so you could tell that earlier video was our previous week, and you've grown because now they're in the same exact position. Now their guy can't catch the ball, but now you got to get off of them sooner and stop ball. All right. So you let him get too deep, and although he misses, the point is you got to help sooner. You should be stopping him before he even touches the black, and then that'll probably end up being more so of a turnover than a shot attempt. Hey, and on this play, you just got to execute. We're running Texas for you. So DJ comes down, he sets this rub screen for you. If you just roll to the basket, you'll have a layup. Like nobody's right here at all, and you didn't know the play, so basically it gets blown up. So make sure you're writing down all your plays so you'll know different positions to be in. All right, so here's an area I definitely want you to grow at. I think you're a bit anxious at times. All right, so we get the rebound, outlet passes. We can't get the rebound and then give it right back. All right, so all right, and here, just be more patient. Like you don't turn it over or anything, but you don't look comfortable. I think you probably travel, so your foot kind of slides. But like I said, just get balance and make sure your outlet passes get to where we needed to go, so we can go. All right, now I love this one because watch, you're patient. Can he get the ball? Nope. Pump fake, and then I wait. So you are completely balanced. So you could throw 3 or 4 pump fakes before getting the ball to a guard and then getting down court. More of that. Now here's something I really like and most kids don't value, but I definitely do. Uh, Blaze comes off the screen. We run 30 for DJ, and you go and you nail this guy with the screen. And because you set that screen perfectly, DJ gets to take his time and knock it in. Um, like that's valuable. Whenever I draw plays, I'm thinking who's gonna set a great screen, and your name comes to mind. So keep being a lead at that. Now this is the area I want you to grow in. Make sure you're working on your finishes, your non-backboard finishes. Like I want kids to think about this shot. You get a rebound right in front of the rim. Usually in practice, we'll take a dribble, get to the backboard angle, and shoot it. But as you can see, there is no time to get to a backboard angle. You got to go right back up with it, and preferably with your left hand. Since you go with your right, you just don't have a chance at it. So make sure you shoot with the correct hand a ton in practice. I mean, I'd have a routine where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna make 100 left-handed non-backboard layups, then I'm gonna make 50 right, and then I'm gonna do it again from another spot. Like you gotta rep it out till it's almost just, you just unconsciously shooting with the right amount of power. All right, here we go again. Same kind of play. You caught the ball down here, non-backboard angle. And those are the ones you got to knock in. So, like I said, we've talked about this in the past. That's a shot you got to get stronger at. I'm not going to put a ton more, but when you're doing your routines, make sure you're getting in the gym and focusing on the shots that you consistently get in games and do those and rep those out a bunch. Don't focus on the shots that you're not getting. You don't have the ball right here a ton where Blaze is standing. So I wouldn't get a bunch of reps there. So, hey, let's keep it up. Keep hard at it.